Hello guys and welcome to my channel. My name is Jesper Offersen and today we are going to talk about an eyelash curler. We are going to talk about the eyelash curler from the company Shiseido, so for the Japanese company. And there are several Japanese eyelash curlers and we have tested some of them before, and we have tested other eyelash curlers before, and some of them we have tested are these ones here. So these there are a lot of them here. So there's this Tweezerman one here, this rose gold one, and there is this one here from Kevyn Aucoin, and there is this one from Surate. There is one from Shueimura, this one here, and then we have this one here from Suku. So we have tried those before, and we have made a little review on those, and you can see them up here. So today we are going to look at the one from Shiseido, and it came wrapped in the red silk paper, and it looked like this. So in there was a spare one of these rubber ones. So if we look at the package, it looks like this, and just unbox it. I have of course already tried it, but just unboxing it for your sake. So voila, it looks like this. It has this sort of gray metallic sort of I don't know, sort of nimbus gray color, I think it's called, and it works just like your normal eyelash curler, so this sort of instrument here. So what is the difference between all those eyelash curlers that we have here? Well, the thing is that it very much depends on your eye shape, or the shape of the eyelid, how well an eyelash curler will perform on your eyes, and also how good you are at using it. And sometimes you can maybe use an eyelash curler, and to begin with it doesn't really work that well, and then later you might try it in a little bit a different way, in a different angle or something like that, and maybe then it starts to work a little bit better. But what I usually find is that when you are using an eyelash curler, it kind of like is very difficult to get the outer eyelashes out here, or at the same time get the one at the inner corner. So usually what happens is that if you go for those out here, then those in here, they will just get bent halfway. And therefore it can be a little bit difficult. You can of course go in and do it twice, so you can like start getting those out here, and then the next time you try and get them in here, but then you kind of like risk that you're making a different kink on this one out here, so that is not as easy as it sounds. So what I normally prefer is I like to have something that it kind of like grips or touches the outer corner and the inner corner at the same time. And sometimes you can have something like that, but then it kind of like pinches your eyelid in the middle. So it is a little bit tricky. And just to say that just because your friend is using a certain brand and says that it's a really good brand and it works really well and it's good quality and all that sort of things, then something like this one here from Surate, I think most people say that this is really good quality, but it doesn't help you a lot if it doesn't fit to your eyes. And I would say after trying all these ones here at the moment, as I have said in a video I made about this one here, the Shueimura, that for me is what is working the best. There might be another one later on that might work better, but at the moment I think that is the one that grabs my eyelashes the best. So if we go back to this one here from Shiseido, then the first thing I notice when I am normally using this one here, you can have a look at how the curve is, because that is really important, as I just explained. So if you look at them like this, you can see there is rather a difference on the way they are curved. And what it means is that this one here is actually curved much more, so it goes closer in out here and in there, compared to this one here, which is a lot more flat. And I would say it is a lot more flat, just like if you see this one here from Surate. And if you just hold them up together, they might not be exactly the same, but they are a little bit more flat than I like them to be. So the first thing I noticed when I was used to using this one here was that when I went in with this one here, I really needed to be careful that it did not hurt my eye. So actually the first time I did it, it's kind of like, ooh, it actually touches my eyeball. So that was not really good, and it just showed that you need to be very careful when you're using an instrument like this. You can pinch your eyelid, but I think the worst thing is that if you are actually damaging the eye itself, of course, and you should be a little bit careful with that. Also, when I have spoken about in other videos, that you can actually heat up the curler a little bit, and then you can make the curl last a bit longer. But there you need to really take care that you're not burning your skin, and it doesn't need to be particularly hot. Just using it under hot water, for example, that will make it warm enough in order to make the curl last longer than if you did not do it. But then there is the little sort of problem that it can be wet, so you need to have the heat staying in the instrument, and at the same time quickly take away all water, because if you're using water on your eyelashes, they will go soft again. So you can't really have a wet eyelash curler and then try to curl your eyelashes, because it will not really work. Also, as if you have curled them too harsh, or they are not the way you want them, then you can just add a little bit of water and then they will just fall back again. So this one here, does it feel flimsy? Because some people, they say that this one here from Shueimura, it feels really flimsy, and I will say yes, it does, compared to something like this one here from Surate. But again, it just depends on how is your eye shape. It doesn't really matter that this is maybe a better quality and it will last longer if it doesn't really fit to your eyelids. So one thing that Shiseido is actually saying about this instrument here, or maybe they are thinking about it as these instruments in general, is that you should replace it every 12 months. I would say either it is because the quality is not that great, or they just simply think that something like this is so delicate that regardless of how they make it, it has to be replaced every 12 months. What they are a little bit afraid of is that it will not close properly. So when you do like this a lot of times, then maybe it will start to not touch evenly all the way over, so all the way over here, and thereby you might not get an even eyelash curling, or you might be prone to nipping your eyelid a little bit more, and so on. So they just say you should replace it every 12 months, but I guess that depends on how much you are using it. If you're using it once a year, it should maybe last many years. But yes, that was just a joke. So yes, should we try this one on here and see how it compares to one of the other ones, because I only have 2 eyelids, so I can only test this one against one of the other ones. And I think we have this one here, just to take something that is not Japanese, take this one here from Tweezerman and compare it to that one, and we just have a little look how they compare. I would say the one from Tweezerman, it curves a lot more, and if you just hold them up together like this, you can see it curves a lot more, and this one here is a lot more flat and also is a little bit smaller. So if we start out with this one here, we go in here, and it is really tricky, but we try, because I cannot go too close, because I'm a little bit afraid of pinching my eyelid. But do it slowly to begin with, and I can feel that I'm pinching my eyelid, so I have to open it again, and yeah, like that. And maybe you can see my eyelashes just there. It has maybe a little bit difficult to see it with the color of the eyelash color, but maybe you can see it if I do it like this. And we just squeeze it a little bit. Yes, maybe you can see a little bit of a difference. I feel that every time I use something like this, my eye starts to run a little bit. It is a little bit tricky to do. I would say yes, they lifted up a little bit, but not a whole lot. And also because normally I'm used to heating up the eyelash curler, and that actually makes them curve a lot more. So to me, this is not a lot. So we just try again. I just have a look and see, did they catch it out here? I would say not much of a difference. So we try again. And then we try to angle it a little bit, so try and get those out there, because those are the ones that you really would like to go up. That gives the best effect. And of course you can hold it for a little longer than I just did, and maybe it should help a bit more. But you have to blink your eye at the same time. So that's a little bit, yeah. So you see what goes like that. Yes, you can see it did curve a little bit more, but also when you do it a second time, you will not catch the eyelashes at exactly the same place, so they will naturally curl a little bit more. So it can be a good thing to do it twice, but you can also risk that you are actually making a kink on the curve that you just made, and it will not look that great. So you should be a little bit careful. But I will say, yes, it did lift the eyelashes. Definitely it did. So yes, I just think that if you look at the eyelashes here, it just only goes midway, where I would like it to be closer to the eyelid. And I think that is just in general very difficult to get with any eyelash curler, I would say. There might be some that has the perfect eyelid and just completely fits one of these eyelash curlers here or another one, and that is really great. But I just think that for a lot of people it is really difficult to find the one that actually fit the eyelid perfectly. So yes, I think it actually does not look that bad, but I need to be careful that I don't go too close, because I'm used to getting closer to my eyes, but I need to maneuver this one a lot in order to get the outer eyelashes here. So if we compare it to this one here from Tweezerman, just try and get the eyelashes. That in itself can be a little bit tricky because I have relatively long eyelashes. You can see them here. It's a really good color here, so you can see the eyelashes onto this rosy color and really kind of like stand out. So we try and do the same and lift it, voila. And I would say this one definitely is better, but I have done this one twice, so we will do this one a second time as well, and try if we can get those on the outer corner here. But it is a little bit, I mean, in general, these ones are difficult to have your fingers in. Some of them are small and some of them are big, but that is an exercise in itself. Voila, like that. And you don't want this part here to go into your skin. You don't want to leave a dent in your skin, and particularly if you just done a lot of makeup, then you don't want it to take away the foundation. I don't have any foundation on today. I just have a bit of a bronzer and some silica powder and a bit of rouge and a bit of glitter, of course. Yeah, so here goes. How did it go? Well, obviously it did lift a bit more because I did it a second time. But still, I would say I like this one better than what happened with this one here. So maybe for me, this one here was easier to maneuver than this one here. So it all comes down to how is your eyelid, how well can you maneuver the eyelash curler compared to how your eyelid is, and all that sort of thing. But when I look at the result for these eyes here, then my eyes will obviously not be exactly the same, so that could also be a little bit of a difference. And as I've said before, it could actually be so that one eyelash curler might fit one of your eyes better than the other eyes, and maybe need two different ones, and so on. But in general, going for what is the best quality and all that sort of stuff, and going for what your best friend has and something like that, it doesn't really work. You need to find the one that basically are fitting your eyelid the best. And I would say this one here that I normally use, and that is the Shuimura one. At the moment, that is the one I find I can work the best with. And something like this one here from Suko, I just find that really difficult to work with because of this really huge bit up here. And I'm sure it was meant to make it easier somehow, that it just follows the eyelid and then you get a better curl and all that sort of thing. I just find it big. Clumsy. So this one here I find rather big as well, and can be a little bit difficult to maneuver as well, though the quality of it is really good, and the quality of this one here seems a okay as well, but it's not about the quality as such. It's more about how it works on your eyelid, and it might be that you can actually find one that is really cheap and it works really well for your eyelid, and you can afford to replace it quicker than if you have to replace something like this, or particularly if you have to often replace this one here from Surate, which is a very expensive one. So yes, should we just try and use one of the other ones here? Maybe take this one from Kevyn Aucoin and see if we can make the eyelash a little bit even more curved or curled. So just go in like that. This one I can already feel that it goes further in on either side of the eyelid. That is simply because it is a lot more curved. But as you can see, you might not be able to see the eyelashes as much as with the one from Tweezerman. Voila, like that. It actually did, I think it made it look nicer. It made it look more curved. Definitely it did lift the eyelashes a bit more. So should we try one of we can try this clumsy one here. I find it to be a bit clumsy, the Suku one here, and try that on the other eye here. I find it's strangely big, and taking into account that these ones here are obviously made with women in mind, but even for my face, which I presume is a little bit bigger than maybe the average woman, so when this feels a bit big for my face, I would say that maybe the average woman's face is a little bit smaller than my face, and then this would feel rather big. But yes, I mean, definitely I think the issue here is that as I've said before, it depends on the way your eyelid is, but also I think that it's a good idea to work on the eyelashes a bit longer, so as in do it twice, or maybe use a different one when you do it the second time round. Yes, if you have a lot of time, you can obviously spend a lot of time trying to perfect the exact curl. So there is another product that I have ordered, and which I will make a video about, and that is a mascara from Maybelline, and they promise that it will actually curl the eyelashes just by using the mascara. So let's see when I make that video if that is actually something that is working. So so far this was my verdict on this one here, the Shiseido one. I feel that it is not curved enough for me, but still I think the result was actually okay. It was definitely for me better with this one here than the one from Tweezerman. So yes, if you'd like to see more of this sort of videos, please subscribe, hit the bell, and do all those things you must do in order to be notified when I upload more of this sort of videos. Thank you for watching. See you. Bye.